over here. Set up my screen, set myself up so I can give you what you want. Now, what we're going to be leaning into, as you can tell, we're going to be leaning quite a bit into God's perspective and the supernatural power of God in the marketplace and what he wants to do. And I want that edge. I believe that we need to have that special ability like never before. And so as we set this up today, I want to talk to you about supernatural breakthrough in business and life. How many of you are believing that there is not just regular breakthrough for you? How many of you believe in that you're just not just going to just cruise on through and just get through the normal way? I want us to be smart. I want us to be intelligent. I want us to be trained. But I want us all to say, God, you have a supernatural way that this can be done. I want to do it. I want your impartation on it. And so I want your blessing on it. And so we're gonna dig into that more so that in this 6 months than we have in the previous season. More so in this 6 months is going to be different because of that. Now, remember, the reason we're here online and the reason we gave you the discount is because we want to, this guy's name is COVID, and we want to slap him. And we want to slap COVID in the face for stealing our economy, for stealing our connectivity. So we're gonna do that right there to COVID's face. Get ready. How many of you ready to get? That's why you're here. That's why we're doing this, because we're here to slap COVID. Now, one of the things I want you to know and understand in this, and when we talk to you, if you came to me, someone came to me years ago, and their job was they're an earth mover. They would use these big machines to dig deep and to the ground and to move dirt and to move earth. And I remember they wanted me to coach them. I'm like, okay, that's great, but you have to know something about my coaching. When we sit down together, you're an earth mover today, but my goal is to lift your value. My goal is to continue to raise your value. I'm not saying you can't be someone that continues to move earth, but I want you to know your greatest tool for wealth is your thinking, is your brain. And so I'm going to elevate your thinking. I'm going to elevate your brain, because the earth moving is great. You get into a system where you know how to move the levers, you know how to move the dirt, but it can become so repetitive and so monotonous that you don't actually have to think anymore. And so it stops you from growing. And so I'm going to actually put you in a position of growing where you have to achieve, you have to dream, you have to think, you have to grow. And so when you understand what I'm doing is I'm elevating your value. I want to raise your value. When I raise your value, I've got to take you from being at the lowest level. Everyone that gets paid at the lowest level gets paid because they can lift something. They can move something from here to there, whether it's moving dirt. And I know earth movers, they make pretty good money. But when you are looking at someone who just stocks shelves or they're getting paid at the lowest level of value of humanity, because it's just for the sake of being able to lift. You can carry that over here, carry that over here. The next value that a person gets paid for is whether or not they can chase something down, whether or not they can hunt something down, whether or not they can, so you're gonna, whether or not they can, whatever it may be, or whether they can grow, or whether they can produce. And so if you see, these things are the higher you rise on your value, finding your personal value, the more you go away from just using your physical body to gain. You understand what I'm saying? How many of you understand what I'm saying? This understanding that this, from lifting to hunting to growing to produce, that increase that happens in that person to go from a lifter to a producer, someone who knows how to plant and sow and water and reap, that person has changed in their elevation of thinking. They've changed in their elevation of understanding. I'm telling you, this is good stuff right here already. We can go home. Just change. They just change in their perspective, and that change in their elevation causes you to be of more value, which causes you to make more money. So if you understand that the people who make the most money in the world, they have gone from selling to connecting, building relationships, right? That's the Facebook. They build platforms from connecting. So many of you are in sales, but what is taking you to another level in your sales is like you see Angie and Terrence. They both are in management of sales. They're not in just sales themselves. They are managing sales teams. They're managing sales forces. So when you go from just being a salesperson to managing a sales team, now you're building connections. Now that's leadership. Now that's now building something. Then you go to the highest level, the people who make the most. It's the Elon Musk. Those are the people who are the creatives. They are the innovators. How can you take a creative, someone who's a technology nerd, but then they're able to create Facebook, or they're able to create something, and it literally excels them to billions, right? It's amazing. Or you take someone who's like Elon Musk. He sells his first company, I think his first company, tech company, sells it for $300 million, right? He sets up. It's because he's able to create something that people were thinking, well, this is just binary, but they created a way and a space that allowed other people to involve. They created basically a platform for other people. And when they created a platform for other people, they invented a platform for other people. It brought a different level of connectivity that takes them up to another level. You understand what I'm saying? Amazon, where's Amazon here? Is Amazon a lifting company? Yeah, they lift stuff, but what's really making money for Amazon? The connections. They are connecting me with a marketplace that I wouldn't have connect to. They're actually, me as a person who's an entrepreneur, I'm now able to take my product to that marketplace, and they are now connecting me to a base. So those are the highest paid industries. Those are the highest paid things. We're talking about connectivity, hospitality. Donald Trump, hospitality. We think he's in real estate. Yeah, but what real estate he's really in? He's in hospitality, a place where connections are made, a place where innovation is made, a place where creativity is made. These are the highest paid individuals. So if you want to get paid higher, I've got to be allowed to take you from a lifter, take you from a hunter, take you from a grower, take you from a producer, take you from even a salesperson, and I've got to raise you up in your value by changing how you see yourself. And so what I did with this young man, I said, listen, I'm not going to talk to you as someone who's just moving dirt anymore. I've got to now talk to you as someone who has the ability to manage people. And so he went from moving dirt to, then he became a manager over, and he, what really was a challenge, can I tell you the reason he went to that job where he was isolated in a little machine by himself, was because he had a stuttering problem. He had a stuttering problem. He didn't think he could talk. He didn't think that he could think. He didn't think communication was ever going to be a problem. So what, a thing for him. So what we did is I started to tell him that you are no longer a stutterer. You're no longer a stutterer. You don't stutter. You just think. Now you're a thinker. And when he started thinking, when he started to think that he was a thinker, he stopped stuttering, because stuttering is a thought process. It's something that happens in your brain that tells you that you can't communicate because you can't think. And so we started to work on his thinking. And again, what did I do? I said, you're a manager of people. You are a great communicator. And we started to talk about managing people, being a great communicator. Are you guys here with me? You guys tracking with me? And then he changed in his thought process of who he was, which then changed how he saw himself on the value scale. And when it changed how he saw himself on the value scale, his first job was managing. His first job, communication, was managing a guitar center. Managing a guitar center. He's a musician, when they're talking, managing, not just sales, managing. Because he didn't think like a salesperson. He went up to connections. I build connections. I make connections. I manage connections. And so that allowed him to rise to that place. So what I'm going to do, and what we're going to do as a team, is we're going to raise your value. Because when I raise your value, it raises your expectation of what you can make. Come on, somebody. We're going to raise your value. Is there anybody here? You guys here? Is this is a good day, right? Okay, good. We're gonna raise your value. In order to do that, is we're gonna your potential is so big. If you see this your potential on one side is massive. Your potential is massive. And all of you are in this program because you know your potential. You know what you can achieve. But in order for your potential to be used, you've got to take it through some things. Your potential, and this is where I have the biggest challenge working with certain people, is because they don't want me to deal with the wall that separates their potential and their use of their potential. There's a wall, and that wall is based upon these things: their habits, their attitudes, their beliefs, and their expectations. So what I start working with in raising your value, guess what I got to start with first? We're starting at the lower thing. I've got to raise your expectations. Then on that, I've got to then raise your beliefs, and then I've got to raise your attitude, and then I've got to raise your habits. I've got to give you habits that lock you in to a specific belief of how you're going to use your potential. Now, guess where people start to actually falter? They start to falter. They love the fact that I believe in them and I expect them and I'm coaching them and I'm like, hey, you can do it, man, you can do it. Then I go to beliefs and they're like, yeah, you believe in me, that's great, that's great. They're all excited, but then they start to falter when they don't believe in themselves. And then when I actually am saying something that they don't believe in anymore about them, I see things in all of you. Every one of you, I went through the interview process. I went through the interview process with you. I see your potential. I see what you could be. I see where you could go. And what we're going to have to deal with is your expectation. We're going to deal with my expectation. My expectation is always going to be high. And this is where the breakdown is. There's going to be a congruency. There's got to be a congruency with my expectation and your expectation. You can't have a lower expectation of you than what I have. You can't. You can't. And I have I'm an absolute extreme optimist. I only see you winning. Woo-hoo! I only see you overcoming. I only see you doing amazing things. I've never seen you as a failure. What God says to me is, Tracy, you are an extreme optimist. That's what he said. I mean, this is the most optimistic guy there is. And he's saying, I'm an extreme optimist. I'm like, yes, I guess I am. I'm believing and expecting all this is going to turn around. And guess why we're doing this is because we're going to make sure it turns around. We're making sure that everything happens in the economy, and we're going to get in the face of people and say, you can win, you can do it. Now, there's going to be something that challenges this potential. Your belief in yourself. And your belief in yourself is going to talk to you about where you came from. It's going to talk to you about what you don't know. It's going to always tell you what you haven't experienced. And then what's really worse is going to tell you how much you already experienced. You did this, you accomplished this, you achieved this, you're this, and you're going to have to let go of all of the acclimates in the accomplishments of the previous in order to go into the new. So many people I work with, they're so stuck in the achievements of the past that they can't go into new achievements. We're going to have to put those things and take all of those things that have been your achievements and take them off. And some people say, well, I'm going into a new job. And I'm like, my first thing is, when you're going into a new job and you have this new and you've achieved much, don't put all of your awards on the wall. Don't put all of those things on the wall. Take all those things off. You're starting from scratch. You've got to build a new reputation in a new company. Get rid of all that. They don't care. They want to know how you're going to produce now. Give yourself a new, fresh start. Yes, you have all of that. Keep all of that in your pocket. Use it when you need it, the education and the inside of it. But don't bring that to the new, because we're on a new playing field. And can I tell you, everybody's saying this is the new norm. It's not a new norm. It's just a new opportunity for us to do what we never thought we could do it in a way we never thought we could do it, and accomplish things that we never thought. I'm telling you that because of this platform and because of what we are experiencing in this nation, we are, and around the world, we are positioned to be more wealthy, to be greater achievers than ever before. I've never seen the power of wealth creation as I'm seeing it right now. I've never seen the potential. Someone say potential with me. Write it over here. Say potential. Put your hands in the air if you hear what I'm saying. I've never seen the potential like ever before. Like Michael and Michelle over there they're on my top left over there. That couple, they are power couple that are real estate moguls, and they are going to actually change the world by their platform. I've never seen greater potential in real estate. Everyone says the real estate market is jamming. It is, but not compared to what's going to come, because we're going to build communities. Oh, come on, somebody. We're going to build communities. We're going to build territories. We're going to take over. I'm getting excited here for a second. Whoa, I'm getting excited because there's something that's about them. Now, the potential is ahead of us. Now, there's only a few that actually take advantage of the potential that is coming, because they don't have the expectation. They don't have the expectation necessary to open their potential completely up to go to the next level. They don't have the beliefs in themselves and the belief of what can happen. The greatest danger that's happening in the world right now is the naysayers and the negative people that say the America's going away and the world is in a crisis forever and COVID's going to always steal from us. That is the lie. If I can say it, lie from the devil. We are in the greatest opportunity, greatest potential, the greatest moment the world has ever encountered, because we are at the place where we're literally looking at the wall, and all of us have to take our accolades off the wall and start fresh again.
Let's go.
That's exciting. Some people are done building. You and I, we're not done building. We're just now getting new ideas. We're just now getting fresh ideas. We're just now getting new opportunities. Come on, it's time for us to go. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to believe this is the best season. You can't listen to this. I mean, it's amazing. We can't say what everyone else is saying, unprecedented times. We can't say that. This is not unprecedented times. It's about to be unprecedented as I do some wealth creation. I'm about to do something unprecedented, all right? You've never seen me the way I'm about to go right now. Come on, somebody. You never seen me the way that I'm about to go. You've never seen me like this. I'm about to win in a big way. And so when you realize what's unprecedented, it's not the COVID, it's me. It's you. It's us taking advantage of what's going on. This is what's about to be unprecedented. My family's never seen the kind of wealth I'm about to bring into it. My family's never seen the curse-breaking potential that's on me. And I'm about to get my habits, my belief systems, my attitudes all in alignment so I can have more of the habit, more of the potential come through my habits. That means I've got to work on my habits. See, what's killing my potential is my expectation, my belief, my attitude. I've got to have an attitude where I wake up and I'm charged. That's why we want to work on you being charged every day, because a charged life is an attitude. A charged life is an attitude. It's not everything's got to be working. Listen, I don't know anyone that everything is working in their life. I don't know one person where there's not one area that they wish it was turned around, but it's the attitude. And if we have the right attitude, we can turn it around. And then it's the habits. Say that with me, habits. Habits. These things, if I were to put them in some kind of percentage, you see the percentage down there in the bottom. Habits are 96% of your daily activities. Your habits, what you do without thinking is 96% of your daily activities. You don't think about it. You're in it. You brush your teeth, you never think about it. You comb your hair, you never think about it. You make food to say, oh, well, what are you gonna make? I'm make eggs. You make the choice of making eggs, the rest is habits. You make the choice, I'm going to work, the rest is a habit. You make the choice. See, what we don't have is we don't have the choice. We made the choice to make money. We made the choice to be a millionaire, but we don't have the habits. And so we need to establish the habits of a millionaire. We need to establish the habits of a billionaire. We need to establish those habits. And when you make the choice and your habits line up as with a billionaire, your attitude lines up with a billionaire, your beliefs line up with, I'm talking about billions, y'all, billions, because we're going to get to 1,000 millionaires really quick. I've been talking about that vision for way too long. It's time for us. I think this Influencers Accelerator is a system to raise up 1,000 millionaires. I feel like, Tony, come on, Neela, we finally have the system. We finally have the global output and outworking where we can raise up 1,000 millionaires. My mind's already off 1,000 millionaires. I'm already looking at 100 billionaires. I just got that number. I didn't have a number before. Let's just throw that number out. I'm looking at 100 billionaires. Woo! Come on, somebody. Come on, Scotty. Come on, Scotty, right there in Georgia. Be there, 100 billionaires. We need to do it.
Let's go.
Looking at Michael, Michelle, the dream that they have, that's not a millionaire dream. That's a billionaire dream. You can't do with the dream that they're dreaming. You can't do it. You can't do it with 1 million. You can't do it with 100 million. You need billions of dollars to dream that stuff up. So we are going to work on the habits and the attitude and the beliefs and the expectations. Now, what you are using of your potential today, it gets very narrow through there. It gets very narrow once you pull it through all those things, because we haven't intentionally. I'm not going to get through all my teaching today, you guys. Listen, I got 30 slides. I'm on the second slide, y'all. I'm on the second slide. This is the problem. It's addicting. I'm addicted to helping you. I'm addicted to this. I can't stop. I'm up all night working on this. This is wrong. I need help. Help me, Jesus. Fall out here. I want you to get this. So what I've got to do, I've got to be diligent. Now, see, I've never shared this part with the influencers. That's why they like to come through the program again, because this is new content.
New treasures.
treasures. They'll take it to their work and they'll use it. That's what I like. and they'll take
I
it
tell you.
and they will use it. They will use it because that's my goal. I can't raise up 1,000 millionaires and not expect them to use this stuff. Come on, somebody. You got to use it. So habits. That's what I told our ladies in South Africa. I'm like, use this. Use it. Raise up. Let's do it. Habits. So what do we have to do? We have to get a billionaire, a millionaire habit life. That means you're gonna have to not kick me and fight me, and you can't make excuses. And that's how you kick and fight a coach, is you make excuses. Excuses are the kicking and the fighting. You can't make excuses. You can't like kick back and go, well, I would have if I should have and I could have and the dog ate it. That's just take responsibility. I didn't. Okay, great. I'm good with that. The excuses are the problem. And when you just say I didn't, and this is a responsibility I should have taken, and that's when we start to live. That's when we go, okay, now that's a habit. Your habit is procrastination. Your habit is putting things off, or your habit is this. So now we can identify the habit, and now we can start working on the habit that needs to. But you don't know, I have so many bad habits. So do I. Welcome to the team. We all have bad habits. I am not actually achieving my fullness of my potential either. Wow. Wow. That's great. We all get to do this together. We all get to work on our habits that hold us back from the fullness of our potential together. But you don't know, Mr. Armstrong, that my attitudes, man, I wake up sometimes and I'm just a fiery dragon. I'm just like wild and dragonish and fiery, and I'm a dragon fire, breathing dragon. Me too. Goodness gracious. Can you believe it? We're on the same team, heading the same way, both raising our value. We're both raising our value. Our value is being lifted up. Come on, somebody. Our value is being raised up. We're going to continue to raise up our value. We're going to continue to lift the value up. Now, the way we do that is we have to continue. I'm gonna get a new one of these. That's what I'm gonna do. It doesn't like my hot hand. I think I got too much fire on me. I think it falters every time. Let's see if I can relaunch it. Can you hear me pushing buttons? All right, let me get rid of this. Let me see if I move over here. Try one more time. Habits, attitudes, expectation. So we have to build, we have to raise those things. We have to. In order for us to win, we have to be able to raise those. Now that means, guess where I'm going to challenge you? Guess where we're going to challenge you? And you know what? It's different than me being your one-on-one coach, because if I'm your one-on-one coach, these are a little bit more intense moments. These little more intense moments where I have to go, listen, you're just, straight up being lazy. Now I get to say it to the whole crowd, and you can look away like it's not for you, right? It's really like it's not yours. Like that's not your issue. You don't get called out, right? It's not a direct call out. And so hey, it went somewhere. Back creativity. Now it's just, there we go. We're back. So habits, as you can see all the slides that I'm supposed to be going through that we're not going to get to today. This is going to be fun, you guys. We have 6 months of this stuff. 6 months. 6. Do you know we only normally would do 3 months at a time, and then we would decide if we liked each other. And then if we did like each other, we would stick around for another 6 months and for another 3 months. We never actually decided that we were going to do 6 months. And just, I'm just telling you, I get a little sweaty just thinking I'm committed for the 6 months like this. But no, I'm just joking. I'm getting my attitude right. Look at habits. Someone say habits. Habits. So
Habits.
that means if you think about 96% of what you do every day is your habit, and that's determining your potential, how much of your potential is actually flowing into your life, then I want you to start paying attention to your habits. I want you to start paying attention to the things that you're just doing on automatic mode. And we're going to teach you how to change that. Don't worry about doing it all. We're going to do it. That's our goal. Our goal is to teach you how to change it, how to automate your habits to where they are now going to reach the potential you want. They're going to add the value that you want to your life. We're going to help you automate your attitude, to shift your attitude. We're going to do that. We're going to help you develop the beliefs in you and the beliefs in what can be done, and develop such a belief that you're willing to contradict whatever is being declared out there. It doesn't matter what the news is saying to me. I feel an absolute contradiction to all of it. I don't believe any of it. I believe that I am winning, and I'm believing that we're going to win together, and I believe we're going to overcome. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this assignment, and then we're going to leave the rest of this, jumping into creativity until next week. All right. So let me give you something that's going to just help with this first part. What we're going to do is we're going to start building on this belief, habits, this identity, all this stuff. And I will put this we have a new hub that we're building, and it's built, and I'm going to put this video into that hub, and I'll also put these 3 slides in the hub so that you can download them, read them, go through them, and add them to yourself. So I see some of you taking furious notes, and you can, because I think it's great to process it while you do that. But the realization is I'm going to give these slides to you as well, these 3. So the first step is to identify your current reality. Your current reality is you need to write down the current reality, which is the problem or the situation that you want to work on. This is my current reality. Don't fake it. Don't pretend. This is not one of those things where we're faking it till we're making it. This is not one of those things where we're believing God. This is not a faith issue. This is an action issue. Now, I'm a faith guy. How many of you guys know people that know me know I'm a faith guy. I'm all about the faith thing. But the realization when it comes to performance, you can't fake performance. You have to actually be real and true to yourself. And what we're asking is that you have faith in yourself enough to be honest that where you are now is not where you're going to stay. We're moving on from here. We're growing from here. All right. So the first step, current reality, your current reality. Number 2 is how do you feel? How does this current reality make you feel? Now, this is where we really work. This is where the work happens. When my son, he was 4 or 5 years old, maybe around just heading to 6. I was doing a lot of executive coaching at the time. He just turned 19, 18, 19. He just turned one of those. Like these kids, they grow fast and eat all my food and need new pants every week. Right. So I don't even know what they're $99 a pant. What? So it's like numbers are all mixed up right now. So when he was young, he would have these fits of rage. I mean, not like a little bit of rage. I mean, like these fits of rage. And then one day I said, how did, what's going on? I just want to kill them. I'm like, that's big. That's like really big. You want to kill them? Like, no, you mean you want to just step on their toe? No, I want to kill them. I'm like, okay, we need to work on that. We need to work. We know the problem. And now let's talk about what's your feeling? This is the feeling. And I said, well, what does that feel when you feel like you just want to do that? And what he's really feeling is that so much energy that rose up in him, he didn't know what to do, but just wanted to wanted to release it. Just wanted to release it. And of course, all he could think of is swipey, no swipey. So you're going to just, we don't swipe out swiper, right? You guys don't know anything about Dora the Explorer, but you go swipe out swipey. And so I said, okay, so what I said, what are you thinking? Of course, I know he doesn't know what he's thinking. This is the first thing you learn about coaching is when you ask a person, what were they thinking? They don't actually know what they're thinking. But what they do know is they know what they're feeling. And so when you go away from asking them, what are you thinking? What were you thinking when you did that? Why did you do that? What were you thinking? That a person has no idea. Because when you are making those decisions, guess what? That goes to your 96% habit. that goes to your habits. When a person is in an emotional state, they don't activate their thought, they activate their habit, which is associated to their feelings, right? So when we are making those decisions, we're activating a feeling that activates a habit that pulls on a recessed, already identified pattern of thought, which is a habit. So I said, well, tell me how you feel. He said, when this happens, what happens? Tell me your feeling. He goes, well, I feel it moving from, I feel like this, I feel the heat coming from my feet, and it comes up to my legs and my waist, and comes up to my body, and it comes up to my head, and when it gets to my head, I'm like, ah! And he's uncontrollable. He's like a little 5-year-old, like like a Tasmanian little devil guy, right? Ah! And I'm like, okay, so I said, well, we got to cut this thing off early. We got to cut this thing off early. Like, okay, so explain it to me again. How does it go? It goes from my feet to my knees, to my waist, up to my chest, and then it says, ah! And I'm like, okay, so what happens if we cut it off when it gets to your knees? When it gets to your knees, can you identify when it gets there? You can feel it? Yeah, I can feel it when it gets to my knees. I can feel it when it hits my knees. I'm like, okay, so if you can feel it when it hits your knees, then what I want you to do is I want you to think of the most incredible thought you can think of, the most exciting, the most enthusiastic, the most powerful thought that you can think of. When are you the most excited? I'd say. And he said, well, I'm most excited when we're going to Disneyland. I'm like, okay, so what is it that you like? Now, what I'm doing is I'm now pulling into his mind, I'm pulling into his memory the thoughts and the feelings of Disneyland. You understand what I'm doing? I have to pull now from feelings that he has reserved, feelings that are locked in him, thoughts that are locked in him. There's already a nervous system built to that. I'm not trying to build new nervous systems. I'm not trying to build new beliefs. I'm not trying to build new things. I'm going to actually just take patterns that are already there, and I'm going to implement it into the space. I'm going to actually just engraft it. And when I engraft it, that flow that would normally go straight up past his head into this place of rage, I'm going to engraft it into an earlier space. So it's like grafting a tree. You guys understand what I'm saying? So I'm now at his knees, at the place of his emotions. If you understand that your knees and your nervous system and a tree are all like the same. They're all like the nervous system, the root systems. The tree has a root system that goes in, and everything flows into that. So most of the time you'll feel it start at your bottom of your feet, or you feel it start at the top of your head. It never starts in the midst of you. And so if you're receiving, it's coming from probably the top of your head. If you're producing it, it's probably coming from the bottom of your feet. Is this too much psychology for you here? Is this too much? Is this too much? Because I need you to understand. I need you to understand where you start to fail. You start to fail because you've already written into you've already written into that system of root system, the nerves, you've already written information. And so when you feel it, it doesn't ever ask you anymore what you want to do. It just goes. It just goes. And then you find yourself in the flow of it. You're just running along. You're just running with it. You guys got to go with my acting. You got to actually participate and appreciate it in the midst of this too. Right? Yeah, right. And it just goes. It's out of control. It's completely out of control. And so what you've got to do is you've got to bring it into control. And the only way you can do it is by literally chopping into that part of your tree and putting another branch there that allows that flow to go into that next branch. You guys understand what I'm saying? The Bible talks about this engrafted one. That power of engrafting is so powerful. So because it takes the energy that's being wasted over here and is now going to go to the right place. Right? So this energy is good energy. My son's called to be a billionaire. I mean, it's been the prophetic word over and over in his life. So this energy, I don't want to go, stop that energy, cut it off, stop doing that. If I do that, then I'm killing the billionaire energy. I don't want to kill the billionaire energy. I need to get the billionaire energy to flow to the right place. And how do you know if you have that energy? You can feel it. It flows in your feelings. It's the feeling of nervousness. It's the feeling of fear. It's the feeling of shame. It's the feeling. All of that is positive energy being directed to the wrong thought process, being directed to the wrong root system, the wrong tree. So what we're doing is I said, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to borrow this. I mean, I didn't intend to get into this. This is good. Boy, this is some good stuff here, boy. Oh. And so what we do is we get them thinking Disneyland, cotton candy, churros, rides, fun. And he starts to go in his mind. He's all excited. Now he's not thinking about hurting people. He's not thinking about getting revenge. He's not thinking about any of that. He's only thinking about the excitement. And then I said, okay, now this is what we're going to do. That feeling you have right there, that thought, it's now tied to this imagination of Disneyland. You going to Disneyland. So when you feel it at your knees, when you feel that nervousness at your knees, don't wait till it gets to your hip. You need enough time from your feet to your knees. You'll catch it. You need to catch it. Say, but when you feel it at your knees, the first thing I want you to do is to think about Disneyland. Simple. Just think about Disneyland. And so he did it. And he is the most peaceful guy I know. I mean, he is like, he is steady Eddie. He is like, boom. He's got a billionaire smooth now. He's just like, what? Shoot, we'll handle this. He's so chilled. He's, and not chilled in a way where he doesn't have any ambition. He's ambitious, but he knows how to direct things. He knows how to reflect. I mean, nothing gets him. Nothing. No, it's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I like this. I don't like this. And he's very, he's like, but it started because he learned how to engraft himself into a tree that is going to allow his potential not to be cut off, but it's going to allow his potential to go into what it's supposed to become. And so, he decided a few years ago that he's going to be an artist. I mean, he was never really an artist. He just decided. He's now an artist. He's getting paid for doing art. I'm like, that's cool. And he does most of it on his phone with his finger. He's a digital art designer. He did that thing for Matthew Pacheco, that little robot thing. Did it on his phone. His little iPhone X. Did it on his phone with his finger. Stupid. Incredible. But it's amazing what on a little iPhone. But he was able to do number two. The reason I need you to know how that makes you feel is because I need you to know what to do with that feeling. If you don't know how it makes you feel, you'll never know what to do with the feeling. So number one, the problem, you have to be real with it. If you're not real with it, you'll never be real with the feeling that problem brings you. You've got to know the real feeling. What does that feel like? What does it feel like to be at the end of the month every month and not have enough money for the bills? What does that feel like? Be honest. I hate it. I can't stand it. It's the most, or what does it feel like to have a dream and not enough money to accomplish that dream? What does that feel like? Then think about that feeling. Then number three, then we're gonna set a desired goal. And the desired goal is write a sentence describing the desired goal. Answer the question, what would it be like if I didn't have the problem? How would it be if it were fixed? Right? That's the question you're going to answer. And then step 4 is how do you feel now after the goal? Read the goal statement. How does this make you feel? Use the positive words, positive feeling words. It makes me feel excited. It makes me feel enthusiastic. It makes me feel overwhelmingly wonderful. And use some very descriptive words. Don't hold back on it. Get excited about it. Because what we're doing, we're going back to Disneyland. Remember? We're going back to Disneyland. We have to find the feeling that we want to replace the other feelings with. Because if you're following with me, 96% of your life, daily life, is habitual, which is tied to a feeling. Wow. Most people don't know how to change because they don't know how to change the feelings. And most men don't know that they are just trying to cover feelings. The fact is we got to identify them, we got to replace them, we got to rewrite them. So in number 5, and we're going to write an affirmation. Now write a sentence combining answers to step 3 and step 4 in the present tense. And so example of this is step 1, I'm always yelling at my kids and can't communicate with them, that would be someone's example, not mine. This is not my example. I just want to make sure that's very clear. This is not my personal, it's not my personal thing. This is example. All right. Number 2, this makes me feel angry, frustrated, and mean. All right. So that's the true feeling. Step 3, the desired goal. If I didn't have the problem, I could remain calm and relaxed and communicate with my kids effectively. So that's the goal. That's the picture. That's what you want to see. Then step 4, this idea or this goal makes me feel happy, loving, and close to my kids, right? Then step number 5, I remain calm. This is now the affirmation. This is what you're going to say. And we'll give you the assignment of when and how often to say it next week. But this is what you're going to say. I remain calm and relaxed and effectively. I mean, you're not, unless this is your problem, this is not what you're going to actually say, but you're going to have an affirmation that combines those 2 things. I remain calm, relaxed, and effectively communicate with kids, which makes me feel happy, loving, and close to my kids, right? So and then so we're going to have you fill this little form out for yourself, and that'll be it. Next week, we'll jump into this. We'll jump into that. I do have to go to the end for a second. Man, this is going to be a fun one next week. We're going to jump into that. Woo! 5 breathers. All right, so I'll come to this again next week. There is a Facebook group. I want you to go ahead and start populating that Facebook group. And that's global. I think it's just called Influencers Accelerator. And I will go through and we'll make sure that we send invitations to everyone. If you don't get them, I'm going to send out an email what I'll do. And if you don't get the email, just go searching for it. You can find it. And but I'm going to try to add your name, have your name added to it so that you can be a part of the Facebook group. And if you are in the 10X, you know how it works. We're going to be active in the Facebook group, and I want you to introduce yourself in the group so that people get to know you. If you have information in the 10X you want to just forward over, that's fine. Or if you want to reintroduce yourself in a new way, let us know who you are. Let us know what you do. And the goal is that somehow we're going to be able to partner together. Somehow we're going to be able to grow together. We're going to be able to build together, and we're going to be stronger together. All right, so I'm going to call that today, because I think we've had a good, productive day. How many feel like we've had a good start? This was a good start. Good start, enough information to give us, not to give you a hangover, not to give you too much, but enough just to get going.